Hello again, this is the Sports Betting Whale, Monday, August 7th, 2017. The theme of today's video is to how to profit from betting on baseball run lines. We're also going to talk about in-game bets, a couple of very fun topics. Recapping the weekend results. I did not hit on the round robins, but continue to put my money where my mouth is, betting along with all the plays I released as seen on the screen. I've now officially wagered over $1 million since the release of the Whale Tracker. From May 1st until today, I bet a total of $1,045,000 on my picks that I've been giving out to you guys. Proof of every single betting ticket can be seen at thewhaletracker.com. I'm not aware of a single tout in the business who has wagered over $1 million in the picks that they've been giving out over this short time. The reason why I put millions of dollars of my own money where my mouth is because I know that I'm going to win over the long run, over any period of time. On my next hot streak, you're going to see me win hundreds of thousands of dollars within a week's period when the patterns align. I know it's discouraging when the patterns are not there. All the professional baseball handicappers that I am aware of are scratching their heads right now. The top experts on the picks buffet have been wrong 70% or more of the time with their consensus picks since the All-Star break. That is really unheard of. These are people who have long track records of at least winning some money in baseball. This cold spell is highly unusual and will switch. Many of the touts that people on my staff follow just to see how we're doing comparatively have stopped giving baseball picks and are switching all of their attention to football. Why? The normal patterns that we're all looking for haven't been there. When a team starts to streak, which is something that you want to jump on early, they're losing the third game or they're losing the fourth game. They're not going on any kind of runs. If you look right now, if you go look at the standings and see the last 10, pretty much across the board, everyone's won 4 to 6 games, which means it's completely choppy, okay? I can do good in a choppy pattern as well. So I'm looking for situations for bounces. A team that's playing, 50-50 ball right now loses big. Generally, they bounce back the next game and respond well. Well, that's hitting about 50% of the time. I'm still up quite a bit of units on the best bets since the All-Star break. That's zeroing in on one game. But I like to win a series of games. I like to really go on runs. As you know, that's the whole theme here. But what I am very excited about is to let you know that the way we're going to do the round robins going forward, I've been letting all the VIP members know this and how we're going to do it with everybody. It's real simple. I'm catch streaks. Clearly, you've seen that. You've seen it from the April 21st to the June 21st run of well over 1,000 times your average bet. You've also seen me get cold, where it seems like all the games, one way or the other, half of them end up finding a way to lose at the end or don't come in clean at all. Okay, so if that's the reality of what's going on right now, again, that's highly unusual, but I'm very good at adapting to whatever the situation is. If that's what's going on, when things aren't clearly as predictable as you want them to be, let's focus on the best bet. Let's focus on keeping our round robin plays to a minimum as far as how much we put on them. I'm actually going to, for the first time in a long time, I'm going to start lowering my plays on the round robins too until we get hot. Now, some of you that don't have much money at all, I'm going to recommend you take the very, very minimum on the round robins until we get hot, or don't take them at all. So let's say there's a cold streak that occurs for a 2-week period, and we've reduced down to where we're taking the very minimum amounts or nothing. One round robin, after a winning day, will put us into the positive territory. And then a streak will make us extremely positive. Why? Because we really didn't lose much when it's cold. And now think about it emotionally for everybody. If you have an amount you don't even really care about on the round robin, you're just putting the ante into the poker game, just getting yourself ready for the big run, and it doesn't come in, who cares? Especially if you bet nothing on it, who cares? You're just waiting. You're waiting for the poker analogy. You're waiting for the right cards, the right table setup, the right chip counts, everything else a professional poker player looks for in a game. Could not care less whether you're losing the antes or the mandatory blinds or anything like that. You're waiting to set up the table for the big run. Another thing I emailed out to the VIP people today is you're a prize fighter, and you're sitting there and just sparring and almost, doing a rope-a-dope like Muhammad Ali and George Foreman, but you're waiting for the right time to pounce, and you know that the opponent is weakening, and at one point you're gonna go on a barrage and knock them out or score so many points during that barrage that you win the fight. It's kind of the approach I want to use going forward with everybody. That will take into account the unlikely scenario that we just experienced. Not only me, everyone in the touting business, everyone in the sports handicapping and sports betting business right now. You've been following the games. If you're baseball fans at all, you realize, wow, this is just incredibly choppy. The situations you think are normally good don't come in, and everything's kind of 50-50. So, but that will switch, and I'll catch it when it switches, and you guys are going to win a lot of money. You're going to see me win a lot of money when it switches too. NFL is different. NFL is very, very situational, and it's, they play once a week. It's a different kind of a sport versus the daily grind of baseball. I'm very good at baseball, and I will end up winning for the baseball season. You'll see that. But football, preseason football, half times, in-game wagering, all that stuff is going to be very profitable, and for a lot of us, a lot more fun too, because for most of us, watching football is more interesting than watching a baseball or a soccer game. So with that said, I'm going to go back to the key to the round robin approach is we are going to bet very small or not at all when the patterns aren't there. So you're not losing any money, you're losing an amount that's inconsequential to you. And everyone, that's all relative. To some people, betting $100 on a round robin, you really don't care because you want to bet thousands. And some of you are going to bet $5 on round robins, and you don't care about that. And if $5 matters to you, then don't bet at all. Just wait till we get hot. So you always end up ahead every single month using this approach. I'm the only one that uses this approach. I'm the only one that's going to show you how to do it. I'm the only one that I think puts my money where the mouth is and really cares about each and every one of you. I'm very committed to you all winning, and it's now become quite a mission for me, and I'm extremely determined to do that for you and show you. You've seen it at spots. Had we used this system all along, we'd be way up, because it's been a cold run, hot run, cold run, hot run. That's how it's been. This system is going to take advantage of that and really maximize the return for you and take you off the emotional roller coaster of suffering through periods where the round robins aren't hitting. When I get hot, the streaks tend to last. They last for many days, sometimes they last for weeks, creating huge winnings. Again, as you saw from the 2 months between April 21st and June 21st, 1,000 units, 1,000 times your average bet. You bet $50 a parlay, you're up $50,000 if you followed every play during that. Now imagine if we were using this system back then. I apologize that we didn't, because this is all, giving out picks is new to me. I've explained that to you before. I do things differently. This is different, and I'm working off of a accumulated huge win for my life, which you haven't yet. You will. It'll be fun when we're at that point. But imagine if you had ran it up during April 21st to June 21st, then boom, June 22nd we didn't hit, June 23rd we didn't hit, June 24th we didn't hit, and I'm like, okay, back to zero until it gets hot again. After the All-Star break, you saw we went on a really great run on the best bets. I think we were 18-4 or something like that. It's still quite positive since then. I would have had you progress on that, and around robins got choppy, I'd say go back to minimum, back to zero, which I'm now telling everyone to do. And again, I know this is all hindsight, and it's not fun to hear after the fact, but I assume most of you want to make money the rest of your life in sports like I do, and you want to have fun too. All right, consider today day one. We're starting with a new approach that's going to make you money pretty much foolproof going forward using this system. I'm very excited about it because I don't want everyone to suffer through the losses anymore. I don't want it to be an emotional roller coaster ride. I want it to be either we didn't win and we had nothing on it, or comparatively nothing on it, or we won and we progressed. That's how it's going to be from now on. And again, assuming you want to make money long term, what happened in the short term in the past up to this point, while I'm adjusting to dealing with other people's bankrolls, let's just wipe it clean, start over, and let's go for it under this new approach going forward. And you're going to make a lot of money, and so am I. I'm going to use the same system too. When I'm not hot, I'm going to follow exactly what I'm telling you. I'm going to lower down, and when I get hot, I'm going to go to every casino in Las Vegas that'll let someone play. It'll be a lot of fun. Yesterday, I made another in-game wager on the Arizona Diamondbacks. You can see it here on the screen. I took it for $200. Again, just playing with the in-game system right now and some of the limits that they have, and cashed out $500. The Arizona Diamondbacks, when I took the play, we're down 4 runs. I really expected them to come back, so I took a play at plus 3.5. Now, what does that mean? Well, if it stayed exactly where it was, I lose. All I had to do was come back 1 run the rest of the game, and I win the bet, which I think they did the next inning. And they had a good chance to actually come back and win the game outright. But these are situations where the computers are using an algorithm. They can't possibly do this from a human perspective. There's just too many variables, and it's too fast. So they've developed these algorithms that say, well, if a team's up by 4 in the 4th inning, then offer a minus 3.5 and a plus 3.5 under these different odds. Well, that's not taking into account the fundamentals. Fundamentals, if you know the team's bullpens, you know which hitters are coming up, you know the different trends and situations, you can really get some incredibly high percentage locks in the end games. Remember the first game, the Hall of Fame game in football? I'm sure many of you watched it. It was the Dallas Cowboys and the Arizona Cardinals. Dallas was a 2-point favorite, 1 to 2-point favorite, depending on when you got the play in. A lot of money went on Dallas at the end to make it 2. Dallas got off to a horrible start. Arizona just went up and down on the field with their offense, and it was a 15-0 game in the first quarter. Well, you know that's not going to happen because the Arizona is going to pull all those players. They're going to play their third stringers going forward, and Dallas has got a deeper bench, and Dallas is going to care, and Arizona has a history of losing the first 2 games in the preseason. With all those things into account, taking Dallas when they were down by 15, I took them to actually come back and win the game at plus 4 to 1 odds. I also took them plus 10.5 points. Now, what does that mean? That means that they're down 15 at the time. Had they come back and outscored Arizona the rest of the game from the 15-0 point on, if they'd outscored them by 6 points or 5 points, 5 or 6 points, that's it, you win the bet. And that was even odds on the bet. Do you see how smart that is? Do you see how easy that is to take advantage of understanding the fundamentals versus a computer algorithm that's just looking at numbers? It's, I think, the most exciting opportunity in sports betting. I think it's the best opportunity, the highest percentage win opportunity that I've seen. I remember back when I went on the $4 million run with Pinnacle, I was able to do quarter-by-quarter stuff, and I crushed them. And because I understand how teams react, I would say that we have a much better chance of winning a much higher percentage after the games have started and you see the flow, especially with my experience of 30 years of analyzing what they do in these situations. Remember, I had a run of plus 80% wins on second half bets in the NFL in college football one year. I don't normally hit that high, but I hit in the mid-60s pretty consistently, which is very, very profitable because I know the teams, I know their patterns, I know the coaches, I know their philosophies, I know how they do in different situations. Well, in-game, it's just amazing how the odds switch around, and you can do an arbitrage too. Let's say that you took Arizona plus the 3.5, which I did, and they score the next inning. Now they're going to change the odds on the 3.5, or they're going to make it a 2.5, And you can sit and play an arbitrage situation on it in game, where you can't lose as long as what you expected to happen at some point in game. You can switch your position and middle out. These are all things that I'm really studying right now. So is my staff, and it's relatively new. In Las Vegas, you only can do it through the William Hill app, and that's what some of my friends and family have been using. And I'm looking at that. But many of you that have other opportunities, you're dealing with offshore, you're out of the country or whatever, you have a position to do. They're all doing in-game now. So here's what I want to do going forward. I want to show you how profitable this is, and I want to be able to tell you when I'm going to be live, which means I'm focused on the games. During the football season, it'll be almost all football games. I will be doing that. During baseball, it will be most of the time, but not all the time. I'll let you know when I'm going to be watching the games and doing all my research on how these teams are reacting in these situations. And then if through an immediate text, whenever there's a commercial break, it can be in any part during the game, when I see a tremendous advantage, I'm going to text you guys all of the what to do and which options to take and the different percentages to put on all that. And watch the run we go on that, because that is the highest percentage probability win. It's using experience and fundamental knowledge against a computer system that is just designed to look at the numbers only. It's just amazing. I've been killing it on my in-game bets lately. Been betting small comparatively, but just wanted to test it out. If you have the ability to make in-game wagers, please text in-game to +1 702 462 1135. In game to +1 702 462 1135, and I can discuss with you how we can start you going on the in-game picks. I want to show you how profitable this is. I'm very excited about it. I think it's the highest percentage by far of any way to bet in sports. We're taking fundamental knowledge and experience and current facts against an algorithm that's only looking at numbers. We are going to crush it. Another question for today. What's the strategy behind betting on baseball run lines? Are the odds fair when betting on the run line? When is it smarter to take a run line bet instead of a money line bet? I've done a very in-depth analysis on this. It's very team specific. You can go to and you test this out so you can see what I'm talking about. If you go to like Scores and Odds or any of the sites that will give you the past games, look at the situation. You want to break up the home versus road. You want to look at the home team versus the road team. And then you want to look at the situation. Are they on a streak? Are they off a loss? Are they off a win? And look at how they respond off these different situations. Last you want to look at in baseball is the pitching matchups. I'm telling you, all the handicappers are getting killed by looking at ERAs right now because it's meaningless. It's just amazing how the high ERA pitchers are beating the low ERA pitchers right now. So that's got to be the last filter. And when I look at the baseball pitching, I get crushed. And I think I'm guilty of that a little bit lately because there's been some obvious mismatches in the pitching, and it's tempting to use that as a controlling factor, but it isn't working. So back to the run lines. What you want to look at is what stadium are they playing in? Like in Colorado, where there's a ton of scoring, a one run doesn't really mean that much in Colorado. Where in a under park, it can mean the world. Yes, the handicappers adjust a little bit for that, but in my opinion, not enough. So you look for the situation, then you look at how does both teams respond in these situations. Do the games tend to be close, or do they tend to be separated by 2 or more runs? If you see that they tend to be separated by 2 or more runs, you're way better off taking the run line as a favorite. Because right now you're seeing a lot of 200 and 300 favorites that go down to -110 to -150 if you take them on the run line. And if you're right about the pattern, that's just a huge difference to be able to take. On the other flip side, you might run into a situation where you see, wow, this game's going to be real close, it's going to be real competitive, and one run does matter. And at that point, if the team that you're thinking of taking plus 1.5 is a substantial dog, you can go ahead and instead of getting plus 180 or plus 160, you can get a minus 110, minus 130, and give yourself that run. But you have to look at the team's specific patterns to see if one run tends to matter in these situations. That's what I do for you anyways. And again, the patterns do form. And when they do form, the round robin system maximizes your return better than anything I've ever seen. I've gone on hundreds of runs from small amount of money, hundreds of dollars to low thousands of dollars, to over hundreds of thousands of dollars, to millions of dollars over hundreds of times. I don't know anyone else has done that. I've never heard of anyone else doing that. And it's a lot of fun for me because I'll go win hundreds of thousands of dollars, a million, invest it in things, buy things, give it to people, give it to family members, help people, etc. And then I see that I'm getting cold, go right back down again. They'll never get it back. How in the world are the sportsbooks going to get back $30 million from me when I'm only betting thousands, and even when I'm in cold, I might lose 100 grand. They're never going to see that money back again. And when I go on another big run, they're never going to see that money either. That's the whole philosophy here. We want you to win the money and invest it, save it, and spend it. What good does it do for you if you win it and you don't get it? So it's the second part of the philosophy of what we do here. I'm going to go ahead and give you today's picks. We've got a total of 2 round robins, both 3s and a 4. Again, we did not hit over the weekend. We haven't hit a round robin streak in a little bit of time. So I'm going to give you these plays. Write them down. Bet them either for peanuts or don't bet them. But just it's important for me to stay in action because my mind's always calculating why I lost or why I won. It's just an important thing for me. And if I don't have any money on it myself at all, then it doesn't register into that computer brain of mine. So it's important that I play something, but it's not important that you do because you're not the one making the picks, I am. So if you don't want to bet at all, don't. If you want to bet a little bit right now, bet a little bit. But I'll be getting on the video here soon when, hey, the patterns and the stars are aligning right now. Now's the time to start making some money. I look forward to that happening. But I can guarantee you it's going to happen in game and it's going to happen in football right now starting this week. So you want to sign up for those packages because those are going to be a different kind of a winning percentage and a different kind of a ride, not as subject to so many variables as you're having in baseball right now. Today's picks, 3s and a 4, San Diego Padres, Angels, Cubs on the run line, St. Louis Cardinals. Taking the same games for the first 5, Padres first 5, Angels first 5, Cubs first 5 on the money line, not minus run, and Cardinals first 5. So it's Padres, Angels, Cubs, Cardinals, all first 5. Because I've got a renewed excitement right now. Football season's starting. I've adjusted to come up with a way to pretty much guarantee you that you're all going to win and steady out the roller coaster ride for everyone. Obviously, it's fun when we're winning, but everyone has cold streaks, including the great whale. And it's impossible not to have cold streaks. There's not a tout out there that's honest that doesn't have cold streaks. We're just going to deal with it differently from now on. And please do yourself a favor. If you're not putting any money on the round robins, don't take anyone else's picks or don't pick yourself. Just enjoy the games knowing that it's coming soon, that you're going to be betting again. Don't go into a hole with other people's picks. Don't go into a hole with playing your own games. If you've got to have action, then put the minimum amount on the round robins and put something on the best bet. That'll keep you going, keep you in action until the big runs occur. And I'm telling you, I know this sounds crazy during a cold streak, but it's coming where you're all going to be like, oh my gosh, you can't lose. It is so much fun when I get on one of these hot streaks where it just like everything falls into place, and I want to show you that, and that's coming. Thanks again for watching me on the video channels. I look forward to the next big run. In the meantime, let's just keep it down to lunch money. Thank you very much. Going forward, I'll continue to release all of my daily picks to you for free if you text me or subscribe to my mailing list. So make sure to text me or subscribe to my free mailing list so I can continue sending you all of my picks every day. I've made tens of millions of dollars betting on sports over the years, and now I'm finally breaking my secret so that you too can share in my success. All you have to do is either click on the link in the description of this video or send me a text message to my phone number at 702-462-1135. If you're texting me from outside the United States, add the +1, so it's +1 702-462-1135. I will begin texting and emailing you with all of my daily picks whenever they come up. Remember, subscribing to my mailing list is 100% free, no strings attached. And every day that you're not a subscriber to my free mailing list is another day that you may have missed out on one of my devastating winning runs. So be sure to click on the link in the description of this video or send me a text at 702-462-1135, or if you're outside of the United States, +1 702-462-1135 to join my mailing list today, 100% free. And you'll be the first to know when I release my killer picks every single day. Again, 100% free.